Key points for week 1. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. The purpose of HTML is to create a structure with text or images. For the text, it will determine if the text is a paragraph, a title, information inside of a table or content, or even a link. W03C is a consortium created to establish the rules for HTML. Right now, HTML is in its version 5.2. A browser is a program that interprets the code. It makes HTML into something tangible. It also transforms other languages into something functional, like JavaScript, PHP, or the one that we're going to use the most, CSS. A server is a computer or sets of computers that store the information that we see on a browser. The smallest unit of HTML code is called a tag. A tag is created by the more than and less than symbols and a letter or a word in the middle. In most cases, a tag requires a closing tag. The closing tag will be identified with the backslash symbol close to the letter. When we have an open tag, content in the middle, and a closing tag, this is known as an element. There are two general groups of tags. One is known as pair tags that requires an open tag and a closing tag. And there's another group called singular tags, which don't require a closing tag. The most common example will be break. Those type of tags are called empty tags. And there's another subset we're going to call self-contained, like images. Images don't have a closing tag either, but it requires more information to make it work. In this case, for images, it requires additional information like what type of image is going to be, what will be the size of the image, and in other cases, even the position of the image. The basic structure of HTML has three main components. The first one, which is a singular tag, is a description. This particular description tells the browser to use HTML 5.2. The next section is called the head. This section talks to the browser and connects additional pages and information that can change the content. For example, CSS and JavaScript will be placed in this section. The last section is called the body. So everything that is visual and everything that we're going to be designing will be in this particular section. Here is where we establish all the HTML tags that describe the content, like text and images. There are rules that we need to memorize to create safe web file names. We are going to use lower cases. Don't use space if using more than one word. Keep it short, and don't forget the extension. This is a bad example of a name for an HTML file. Some of the issues are the use of uppercase, space between the words, and the incorrect way of describing the extension. This is an example of a proper way of naming files, where we summarize certain words, we attach them with a ligature, in this case the underscore symbol, and we use the proper extension. The dot in the process of naming files is important because the computer will understand that dot or period as the end of the name and the description of the file, which is the extension.